Okay. So, you guys have school tomorrow?
We do not, and we do not have it on Monday. They're real big about it Easter Monday, so we have an e-learning.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's exciting. Are you going to do a hyperdoc?
I did.
Yeah, that's what you said. I forgot.
I
That's
did one on
awesome.
prepositions, and so I'm very excited about it, and they do love it. So
Oh, I'm so glad. Good.
yeah,
I'm
I fell
gonna.
into the dark hole that you did on Saturday, and
Uh-huh.
I have a question for you. I
Yeah.
I knew that you had said about the podcast being 71 and 72,
Uh-huh.
and so I searched and I watched like 5 different podcasts, episode 71 and 72, which I got a lot of information. And then one of them was actually the right podcast. So then I went and then I explored all the templates and resources. So I kind of worked backwards. So my
Okay.
question is, given all that, and I know, you're a supporter of this, but do you think it would be necessary to purchase that book about hyperdocs?
No. I don't think unless you really want that's those steady visuals. I leafed through it and absorbed as much as I could. I'm not a detailed reader.
I'm the same way, so
Yeah.
I think I can get more. I can probably garnish more off of just perusing the
Yeah. I
internet.
think if you've listened, okay, so it was episode 71 and 72. Did I put the wrong ones?
Um, no, you said the right ones. I couldn't find where it was posted, and so I had to. Am I wrong? Did you guys know that?
So if you look here,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can
Where
see
am
my
I?
screen, right?
Yeah,
So I'm on Google Teacher Tribe, and then
yeah,
I clicked this link, this heading.
yeah. I found them once I was there. I just wasn't on Google Teacher Tribe, so.
Oh, were you looking? Did you get on like iTunes or?
Oh, I can't even tell you where I was, but they had a lot to do with hyperdocs. I knew if it wasn't about hyperdocs, it wasn't it for me, so I just kept going.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
don't remember, quite honestly.
because then you can just listen by clicking play here. Yeah, if you go to iTunes and just
Yep.
search the Google Teacher Tribe, or not Google it, but if you search on iTunes or Google Play, if you don't have an iPhone,
Yeah.
yeah, they live right here. So, and they have all of their, they always have really great show notes with lots of links to resources.
That's a huge resource, that Google Teacher Tribe.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I listen to it all the time. I've gotten bad about keeping it up to date on my G Suite 123, but that is definitely on my list of things to do. My ever-growing list.
I hear you.
So I know you do. All right. So actually, that's where I'd like to start after we talk about where am I? So let me jump in here. So today we're going to talk about YouTube. I thought that was a perfect question. Pam, I can't remember if it was you or someone else that asked about, how do we create a channel so that we can, share these kids' the things that they're creating with the world, quote unquote world, whether you keep it private and share it with certain people or if it's unlisted and, that kind of thing. So I thought that was actually that was a question that was meant to be because it fits today's topic so well. So I made an executive change to
There you go.
topic. And actually this is not week 1, this is week 2. Come on, computer. When the topic was already breaking down the classroom walls, and originally when I created this months and months and months ago, I had Google Sites on here. And as I was working this out and creating it, I'm like, we really covered sites pretty well. And then I found my sticky note about you wanting to know about YouTube. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is perfect because this is all about breaking down our walls too, sharing with the world, whether it's parents or the school, keeping those videos safe. Or if, I know there are some schools that don't mind if you share out, YouTube videos with the world and have your class YouTube channel. But so we're going to talk about creating a YouTube channel and keeping videos safe. And then talk about what Google Hangouts Meet is and how do we use it with kids. And then we actually have a Google Mystery Hangout today with a guest. So we're going to have our own little mystery hangout where you have to try to guess who this person is before they chat with us a little bit, okay? So as always, whoops, like I said, I will make this executive change on the schedule for next round, which starts in August. But do you have any questions or anything that you want to share? I know, Pam, I'm going to actually ask you to go ahead and jump in and share because you already were, really raving about HyperDocs with your kids. You've already kind of gave us a little insight on what you've done with them. But can you share with us some of your wins? Or if you want to start, if somebody else has questions, I don't care how we start, but I'd love for you to share what happened this week.
Okay, no questions, so I'll jump in. So as I said, I just started digging in the templates. One thing I did learn is you really have to scour the resource that you take, because the first one that I did, I want to start once iLearn is done. I want to start a novel. Al Capone Does My Shirts. I've read it a bunch, and I've done the same thing. I've gathered the videos. I've gathered all these different things about Prohibition, Al Capone, Alcatraz, all this stuff. And I thought, I'm just going to Google it. And when I Googled it in the HyperDoc site, every link took me to an advertisement for a book by that author or something. So my first lesson was you have to go through everything to make sure it works. You can't just put it up there. And so then I actually went to Teachers Pay Teachers and bought one for $3 because it looks really good.
Oh, you did?
I did. And
that's interesting. I'm going to take note of that. I want to try that because that is definitely not what they created Teachers Give Teachers for.
Yeah, look on it. It's Al Capone Does My Laundry or Shirts. Is it shirts? Sure.
So this was on Teachers Give Teachers?
Yes. The HyperDoc.
He Does My Shirts, that book?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I just thought, well, I just need something. And so I did a review on Theme. They've been introduced to it, and it was a short one. And so immediately they loved it because it took us to Brain Pop, and Brain Pop is really engaging, and we are not subscribers to that. And so they immediately loved it. And then they had to look through like 6 different little video clips, and they had a review of what are, common themes, because I know we'll be tested on that for iLearn. Mm-hmm. And so I thought this is a great way to do it. And they laughed, and they were busy typing and inserting their answers. And I thought, oh, this is a huge hit. So I actually put one on our Google Classroom for prepositions. And then next week, I'm going to put one on. It walks them through argumentative essay. And it's about chocolate milk or not chocolate, that chocolate milk isn't good. And there's a letter from our principal that I kind of tweaked that says, this is an issue. Give me reasons why we should keep it or not. So I'm hoping it flies.
That's awesome. That's a great idea. And I would be interested to see that too, because I have felt for years that they need to take chocolate milk and strawberry milk out of the cafeterias.
Yeah, it's interesting because, they go in not thinking that, and then there's going to be a mountain of evidence, and then it's going to be all they can not to write against it.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh my gosh, that gives me goosebumps. And what are you doing while your kids are working?
I was actually getting ready for e-learning and other. It's true. You can walk around because the beauty of it is, even the other kids said, he said, I don't know what to do. I keep clicking on here. And then the student next to him was like, you need to read this. If you just read it, it's all self-pacing. And I told him, it's all new. You can go back at any time, and kids were going back, but it really, I hate to say it really frees up your time, and they have to do it. It's instead of me standing there lecturing and them not listening. It was 100% engagement.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad to hear it. And let me tell you 2 things about what you just said. Number one, I truly have changed my outlook on, teacher time versus if your students are engaged in what it is that they are doing, and they're not just always watching movies or documentaries or videos. If they are truly engaged and you truly have some serious things to do that are time intensive for your kids, I really don't think there's anything wrong with letting them be engaged with the content while you're getting some teacher stuff done. Now,
At first I felt guilty.
I know there's that guilt there, but you know what? We keep having more and more asked of us, and we keep having less and less time to do those things. So number one, I'm a huge advocate of trimming the fat and only doing things that are truly necessary to keep your class running. But second of all, if you have to take some time to get things done, because for example, that e-learning, it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
Am I advocating for always working on teaching stuff or planning or whatever while the kids are working? No, because that's also a great time to meet independently with kids, small group work, that kind of stuff, serving those kids where they need it. But it's just a fine balance. My opinion on that has changed as I've taught longer, because I myself had my time stripped and was asked for more and more and more. And I finally was like, you know what? I have to change my mindset on this and allow myself the permission to say, this is being asked of me, but I don't have time to do this at home. So I'm going to do some of this here right now,
And if you listen to that first podcast, there was so much in it about how we just lecture. It's not the same way. We cannot keep teaching that way because it's inefficient, and the whole thing, instead of a sign, it's just redesigning. What I found through this is that it's all there. You just have to piece it together, and it was actually a lot less planning time than when I was doing it, and they were 100% engaged.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah. I also one more thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I liked the three gals who talked, and they said, it's not like you would use this 100% of the time.
Right.
It's a balance.
Yes.
And I can see that.
Yeah.
But,
so I'm interested too to hear, how did they go through the first one? Did you kind of walk through it with them a little bit, together as a group to kind of make sure they understood their expectations, or did you just kind of let them go? And help me remember what grade level you teach.
I teach 5th.
Okay.
And I put my Chromebook on a mirroring, and I projected it, and I said, this is where you're going, and they all knew where to go.
Mm-hmm.
And the only clue I gave them was, I said, you have to read. Every slide is important, and I showed them what was on the left of their screen and how it worked, and when you're ready, you can go back and forth. Mm-hmm. But if it's blue, you need to look at it, you need to read, but you can always go back. And then I just let them go. And I have a small class this year. I only have 14. 13 out of the 14 were on task. The one student that wasn't, he has some learning disabilities anyway, and so they were all over him though. They were like,
"Oh, they were helping him out."
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, I hope things continue to go well for you. And what's going to happen with this is, as you do them more, you're going to have your own ideas. It's a great catalyst for just creative planning.
I can already see that. And I was walking with Carolyn, who is here, and she teaches first. And I know her, I don't want to speak for you, Carolyn, but we talked about it being overwhelming because her kids are small and they don't have all the exposure to the technology. And I'd suggested that she share it with we still have a computer teacher, that she presents it, she gives it to him, and he would take it and go with it.
Yeah.
But honestly, Carolyn is wired up a lot like you in that she is, but very deep. I shouldn't say that. She's very organized and very detailed, and she is going to be the one making $1 million on her templates that she creates and pushes them out to Teacher Pay Teacher.
Oh, good. That would be awesome. I'm flattered that you think that I'm very detail oriented.
Well, you're organized. I'll say that.
Well, thank you. I try.
Yeah, Courtney will put a twist on it. So
yeah. I'm so glad that you drank the Kool-Aid, honestly.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a little late.
I know it can be really overwhelming. Yeah, it can be overwhelming when I first introduce it to teachers. And, if you just take kind of a leap of faith and say, okay, I'm just going to try this out, it really is transformational. And I mean, honestly, that mixed with what I'm going to share with you today, this is where we're truly getting into that modification and redefinition, because we truly could not do these things without this technology. So we're going to actually jump right in then, unless anybody else has anything they want to share, because we do have a special guest coming with us today. Is it okay if I go ahead and move on?
You guys ready? Yeah. Yep, moving on.
All right, cool. All right. So as always, SAMR, so important in us being reflective on how we're using this technology. And today with what I'm going to be showing you, we are going to be redefining. So, and that has to do with a couple of the things I'm teaching you, but with us doing this mystery hangout that we're going to do, we are truly doing something that we could never have imagined doing back in the quote unquote old days of teaching, even being 2007, okay, when I started teaching. So I'm so excited. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. So excited to get into today's session. So first of all, so grateful for that that question last week. Whoops. It will not leave that YouTube channel. There we go. So grateful that you asked this question about YouTube last week, because this is truly a way to break down those classroom walls in addition to what we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. So how do you create a YouTube channel? So I'm going to read through these directions quickly, and then I actually inserted a YouTube video on how to create a YouTube channel that explains it really well too. But it's so simple. So what I want you to do is make sure that you're signed into your teacher account, because you are going to create a class YouTube channel. And then just simply go to youtube.com. You're going to click your account image on the top right, that circle, and then click My Channel, and then Create Channel. And then you'll click to add a video. I mean, it's that simple. You think of a channel name. So if it's Mrs. Brewer's 5th grade, you know, whatever you want to do for your channel name. And then you just click the video with the plus sign icon to upload your first video. And you can even, through that icon, you can create a live video, kind of like how, you know, I'm just talking at the camera right now. You can just create a video while you're talking. So I'll go ahead and get out of here and show you how simple it is. Obviously, whoops, I already have a YouTube channel, so mine is not, actually, you know what? All I have to do is go to my example account, because I don't have a YouTube channel there. So if I go to, and you can follow along too with your computers, you just go to youtube.com. And then here is your account profile. All right, and there's that video with the plus sign. That's how you add videos. It's that simple. Thank you. So if I click here, it's just you click on My Channel. And this is where you're going to create your channel as what? So I'm going to stop here, because then it's as simple as clicking Create Channel. Do you have any questions about that?
Nope. Do you guys?
Yep. You can put your name in there. You can put in a name of your, whatever you want to do for your YouTube channel, as long as the name's not taken.
Oh, I already have one.
Oh, good.
It made it something.
Yeah. If you consistently use YouTube with your kids, you probably already have a channel.
Well, I think I took another technology class, and I did it a long time ago.
All right. Well, there you go. So it's that simple. And then that video that I attached there has a good tutorial. It's very simple, very short. Okay. So once you have your channel, then you can set up your privacy settings, and that's pretty simple too. So I'll just come here to My Channel. Oops. You can tell that my daughters search for stuff on here too, by the way.
Oh, I get that too.
All right, so then if I click here on my icon and click My Channel, you can see, oh shoot, duh. I'm sorry guys, I forgot. I don't have, that's not my YouTube channel. I have it through my burnedinteacher@gmail.com. I need to switch it over. I'm not as highly organized as you thought I was, am I?
Well, you're not like Carolyn.
All right. So if I click here on My Channel, you'll see that These are, this is my home screen or my home page, but if I click here on videos, these are all of the videos that are public for other people to see. But what you should know is that these are not the only videos I've created. I create a YouTube video every single time you and I meet. I create a video for every time that I meet with my Burned In Teacher small group program. The difference is when I create these, I make them public. And when I create, when I say these videos out here, these are all public. But when I create our videos or my small group program videos, I make them unlisted. Because then they're out there, but they will not show up on YouTube unless someone has that exact URL, which is, I mean, look up here. It's something crazy like this. Unless someone has that exact URL, they are not going to find that video. It's next to private. If I made them private, other people can still view them, but I actually have to share it via email with people. So you can choose if you want to keep them unlisted or private, okay? The other thing here is like here, if I click on playlists, all right, these are all of my public ooh, I need to maybe check that. But I have my playlist over here that only I can see. So if I see here all my Google U videos, I can access those through the playlist if I need to. So the way that you set your privacy settings is you go here, you click here on your profile icon and you go to settings, and then right away you're going to see ways that you can keep your channel more private. So if you go over here to privacy, okay, keep all of my liked videos private, keep all of my saved playlists private. All right, I can even keep my subscription private if I wanted to. And then I just click save. So no one else, if they're on my channel, can see videos that I've liked. Thank goodness, because my daughters, when they get on here, not my oldest so much, but my youngest, she likes some weird videos. So that's a way to keep those things private. Other people can't see them, okay? So when I upload a video, let me go actually back here to YouTube. And when I go to add a video, all you have to do is you click this, this camera icon with the plus sign, and then you click upload video. And then right away, you just click here because you're recording the video either on your phone and then, you know, sharing it with your device, or, you know, however it is that you're recording that video. You're typically not going to be recording live. So you're going to record on some other device and then you're going to upload it from your hard drive. So you just click this icon here and then you'll just upload a video from your computer just like you would anywhere else. But here's where the difference is. When you upload it, this is where you make it either unlisted or private. This is obviously scheduled, so it would come out at a later date. You probably wouldn't use that one. So when you upload it, it's just like this, okay? If you would forget, so if I clicked here, I'll just show you an example. I don't think I have any videos on here that I could just randomly upload. But if you forget and it uploads as public, don't freak out because it's easy to change that too, all right? If you upload a video, and it takes a while for it to upload anyway, and you have the chance to add it to a playlist as it's uploading, it's very simple. You give it the title and everything like that. But here, if you come over here, you go to YouTube Studio. If you would forget, this is where you can change the privacy settings of videos that you've already uploaded. Okay. So if I go to videos, just a second to pull them up. See, these are all of the videos, and you can see what the privacy setting is, or the visibility of them is, and I can just click over here and change that anytime. Okay, so does that help you to understand?
Can you repeat that part about just the section you just did? I missed. I was looking for something.
Oh yeah, no problem. So if I'm out here, whoops, um, it's thinking about it. How do I get back to my channel? Oh, here we go. Okay, so if I go back out here to my channel, if I, for some reason, upload a video and it's public, don't freak out. It's as easy as just going over here to your profile image, going to YouTube Studio Beta,
Okay.
and then over here, once it finally decides to go, if you just click on videos,
Okay.
see, these are, look how many videos I have uploaded that no one can see. All right, and over here, excuse me, you can see the visibility. So I can easily just click the down arrow here and make any of these videos private or public. All right, if you make them private, and that video that I have on the slideshow, on our slide deck, if you make it private, he shows you exactly how to share it. It's just as easy as clicking share, and then you have to enter the email address of the people that you specifically want to be able to see it. Nobody else will be able to even find that video. But if you make it unlisted, like I said, it's still out, it's out there, but it's got this crazy YouTube URL. So it's very, unless someone types it in specifically, they won't be able to find it. So it's that simple. I mean, you just click this, upload video, choose the video you want to, upload from your hard drive, set the privacy, give it a title, and that's it. It just takes a few minutes to upload. So it's as simple as that. So do you have any more questions about?
Nope. We just need to try it.
Yeah, I mean, that's you'll see how easy it is once you get in there. But yeah, that's a great way to break down the walls and giving the kids, they create that final product. If they choose a video or whatnot, then you can upload it to your private YouTube channel and then share that video just with them, that they maybe only have viewing capabilities.
So then how do they, okay, let's say they do a presentation, it's on a video, I upload it, put it on my YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. How do they know where to go to get it?
Yeah, so if you make it unlisted, all you have to do is just make a copy of that URL up here.
Okay.
Or whenever you upload it, it has its own, it'll come up in a little box. So you can share that link with them.
Gotcha.
Or, you can put it into your classroom or whatnot. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, this is where you need to have a conversation with your tech person or your principal and decide what it is that, what are your rules for that, to make sure that you're following those guidelines. Mm-hmm. But, if it's not public where anybody can just search Mrs. Brewer's 5th grade class, you're not going to run in, I wouldn't say you're going to run into any problems, but it is important, to try to keep the kids safe, especially if you have certain rules about posting videos and images with the kids' faces showing and things like that. Some schools have different rules than others.
Yeah.
So, okay. And this is a great video. And this guy who made this video is really funny. It was really entertaining to listen to his video or to watch his video. All right, so now we're going to move into, we're running a little bit behind. So the HyperDoc that I created, the time on it is wrong because I put we'll come together at 4, but I think we'll be okay if we come together at 4:15. So we're going to switch over to Google Hangouts Meet and how that can also break down the walls of your classroom. So if you go to Classroom, click on the HyperDoc there. And you can complete it with the partners. It's still just you and Carolyn?
Courtney.
And Courtney too. Hi, Courtney. So you 3, if you want to, since you're a small but mighty group, you can go ahead and work through it together, kind of, choose which resources. I can't tell you too much more. I'm going to tell you everything about the HyperDoc. So go ahead and click in there. And I'm here, of course, for you if you have questions as you're navigating through it. I did make it very simple. But I'd like you to just do a little bit of discovery with Hangouts Meet instead of me lecturing, of course. And then we'll come together and we have a guest coming in about 15 or 20 minutes.
Okay.
All right.
Welcome back to Q&A. I'm Jim, K-12 Program Manager for School Presentation, working with school districts across the U.S. integrated technology. On this episode, we'll be looking at Hangouts and the innovative ways that educators are learning technology. Hangouts uses messaging, voice, and video chat applications. It's also a deeply educated and support service. It allows users to hold in-person meetings, virtual training classes around the world, and much more. That's right. And we recently asked you about your favorite education. Let's dive in and check out some of our favorite suggestions. In this day and age, technology helps us stay connected more than ever before. Long gone are the days of discussions for limited still paper. And with me, you're able to connect on video with up to 25 participants at once. This means students across different classrooms, schools, different time zones, can collaborate and discuss about it. Alex Chat in California has taken University. She forms virtual programs for students and building and brainstorm together on questions and building engagement. Many of you are using this message was from say hello. Educator Matt Hill created a web-based meeting system. This is what helps them make sure that every message is heard. That's right. We wanted to put a simple push button that is help that staff step away. Students immediately solution. He decided to hang out with them. And it works well with other teams. You can see how ringing a bell on electronic kiosk so that my mental desk. All of that. If you're inspired to set up a web based your own, that even provides a step-by-step support guide. If you're certified in the same hangout, check out the link in the description. Really cool stuff. And while time inside is not even even outside is just as hangouts can give students the opportunity to work and demo ideas. One of my goals this year was to bring in my background. So when I saw this working out, that would be a great way to try to get other businesses, other community members who are veterans out that and have never driving here or that's been trying to communication because working out real quick. The other businesses, they go back to their work.
I'll be right back.
Being able to question back to us.
Yeah.
I took another note that looking out and try it out. And he ended up taking both our classes, reading the story, asking questions back and forth to each other, and making sure that they understood the concept of what a question is. Another classroom, technology-wise, has been pretty old, to be honest, and it is taking it. But that's this year. One of those years that I had to take next step. It took maybe 5 minutes, if that. It has really my life.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, my daughter just got home.
Really interested in this. Help me out. About 15 minutes. How to do. Some of the example ones that I had this morning is the freshman year that together with another young friend classroom, and they thought that they were getting on a bus to travel near Hill Elementary.
All right, have any of you, and maybe I need to refresh Classroom. I was going to quickly go through the biggest takeaway from the EDU in 90. Did you have a chance to answer that question?
What was the question? I don't have it up in front of me. What was that one, Carol?
Okay. Right, it said to explore, and then we'll come together and discuss your main takeaways. I'm sorry, click here to answer the biggest takeaway in this week's topic. Question labeled engage.
We didn't really address that question, but I think like Carolyn was saying, it just opens up to anything. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can go anywhere. You could visit any place or any person. It just, I think it's just huge again.
So do you have any people, you may not be there yet because I'm kind of rushing you. But when we, as far as coming together to explain, is it pretty clear to you what a Google Hangout is, or it's now Google Hangouts Meet or Google Meet?
Yes, I think all of us,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, pretty clear.
Did you understand how to schedule one?
I think we didn't go through that, but I think don't you just have to contact that person, set up a time, and then?
Yeah. So actually, our guest is about ready, so I can just show you how simple it is. And even if it's not even a mystery hangout, if it's just you like scheduling a hangout meeting with someone else, a family member even, it's this simple. All you do is you go to your calendar. Let me change my view. And let's say I wanted to schedule a meeting let's go to today. Why am I second? So you can see we have our mystery hangout here, but let's say I want to schedule a meeting here. Hangout, actually this is a lot like what I title them now, like in real life, hangout with Pam, all right? Then you can choose which calendar you want it to show up in. But then if you go here to more options, all you do is you click add conferencing and then click Hangouts Meet. And it creates a link there. And then if I invited Carolyn Vachel, you're going to get a calendar invite. And then all you have to do to join the meet is just like what we're going to do here in a second. So I would just send this to you. And whenever you would accept that invitation, just like you do for any other calendar invite, right? All you do is the time of that meeting, you just click on that calendar event, and that link will be right there. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to discard this. So if I click here on this meeting that we have scheduled, ooh, did you see that?
Yeah, but he was my guest.
Darn it. Don't tell him.
They didn't see it.
All right. Darn it. I even changed the name of the title. All right. Hold on a moment. So all you do is click on there and you see, okay? You see who it is that you just click on the link. So let me actually, let me stop the share here. All right. All right. So I'm actually, can you see me?
Wait. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to unplug my earbuds. I'm going to go to my calendar. And I'm going to tap on the event, join the Hangout, and think of questions that you'd like to ask this person to figure out.
I can't.
Oops.
You know, too. I'm not going to say that. I want to spoil it. Courtney, you're up.
Now I'm messing this up. Why is this not? Oh, I see why. All right, let me go back here. There we go, I was in the wrong account. All right. Hi there. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Hang on a second.
All right. Can you hear our guest?
Yes, it's a man.
Oh, it's a man. They already know you're a man.
Yeah.
All right. Now, obviously, we're doing this hangout through my phone because we are ourselves connecting digitally. But I'd like you to try to guess who our guest is. I think they already have it figured out because most of them did their homework, it sounds like. So, just you can ask any questions as long as at first you don't guess exactly who it is.
That ruins the fun, right?
It does. All right. So, what are your questions?
Do you live in Indiana?
Do I live in Indiana? Yes, I've lived in Indiana my whole life.
Somebody else. Are you currently a teacher in the classroom?
A teacher.
They said in the classroom. They said, "Are you a teacher?"
Classroom. Not currently right now in the classroom, although I did teach in the classroom for many years.
And you're still alive. You're a living. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm coming to you from the afterlife. Yeah. Yes, I am. I am currently alive. Hang on a second. Let me check my pulse.
Yeah.
Still beating.
All right. Just maybe one or two more questions.
I know who you are. I believe we saw you at Concordia High School several years back.
Maybe. I've been to Concordia High School before.
Yeah, it was like, and
Were we there? Yeah.
do you read?
Was it a ditch?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Courtney asked that.
Was it a ditch the textbook type? I don't know. Presentation that we would have seen you at?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to turn you around so you can kind of talk to the computer. All right. So what is your guess? Who do you think we're talking with today?
Unfortunately, they don't know his name, but I do. It's Matt Miller.
You got it.
There you go. There you go.
All right. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hey.
With all of you through Amber's phone and her computer.
It's a little bit of a what would we Jimmy rigged this up.
Yeah.
Kind of.
This is like a telephone can.
It's like we Jimmy matted it up.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. I love it. I love it. See, I wasn't sure if you were going to be on camera or not, so I had to take my books down that were back behind me. So I put those down so it'd be a little harder to guess anyway.
Right. So, ladies, if you didn't realize yet, or for those of you watching this in the replay later, well, Matt, why don't you introduce yourself? What is it that you do now?
Yeah, absolutely. So Matt Miller taught high school Spanish for 11 years at North Vermilion High School and at Turkey Run High School. If you ever heard of Turkey Run State Park, I had the pleasure and luxury of teaching right across the street from it for 4 years. Then I wrote a book called Ditch That Textbook, Free Your Teaching and Revolutionize Your Classroom. And that was in about 2015. And since then, I've been doing professional development with schools and school districts and conferences kind of all around the United States and beyond, like Canada and Australia once. And so that's what I get to do. I've kind of switched from being a high school Spanish teacher, which I did for 11 years, to helping teachers to come up with cool ideas for the classroom and meaningful ways to do technology. And I live here in Park County, the covered bridge capital of the world, as we like to say, and live out here on 25 acres of pure, quiet bliss in my mind anyway. So
Yep.
that's neat.
So, ladies, first of all, Matt, thank you so much for taking time out to talk with my my students of Google University. this month, we're doing Google U or G Suite 390, which is bringing it all together in the classroom with G Suite. So this week's topic is breaking down the walls of our classroom.
Oh, nice.
So that's why we're talking about Hangouts Meet.
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, right. And then and we already also talked about YouTube and how to actually post videos that your students create to your own YouTube channel to help break down those walls as well. So, ladies, do you have any specific questions for Matt? I know I kind of sprung him on you. But Matt has a great story of how he decided to, break down the walls of his classroom. But if you have specific questions, I'd love for you to feel free to ask them of him before he shares a little bit about ways that he's done it.
Do you have questions?
And if they can't think of anything right off, I could give them my story, and that would kind of like buy them a couple minutes to think of anything that they might want to ask.
Sounds good. I wish I would have reviewed all my notes. I still have them, the slides you had, so I should have gone through them.
Oh, no. That's okay.
Then I would have had questions.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty easy to reach, too. If you decide that you've got some and you miss out on it, it's just matt@ditchthattextbook.com is my email address, and, that goes straight into my phone in my pocket. So I'm pretty easy to reach if you decide you've got some. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so Amber, you want me to go ahead and tell that story?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, this is really one of my absolute favorite stories from my own classroom. So I've been teaching high school Spanish for about 8 or 9 years or something at this point. And, at little bitty schools, which I'm sure some of you are very familiar with, it's funny when I go and present, sometimes I'll tell them that it's at a little bitty school, and they're like, really? How little bitty? And I say, well, our last graduating class, when I was teaching, was 32 kids. And they're like, oh, get out. And I said, no, really. We had to drive your tractor to school day. That's how small we are.
We've all had that.
I think that these two can relate in this course right now. Me too. I told Matt that. We had one of those too.
Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly. So at this little bitty school, I was the entire world languages department. Like, I was the only language, and I taught all of the classes. So I had Spanish 1 all the way through advanced placement Spanish, all in one day. And with my Spanish 3 class, I decided to try using video calls, Hangouts Meet or Skype or FaceTime or whatever. And I'd heard of some teachers doing this and doing some cool things, where they'd partner up with another class, or they'd get a guest speaker, or they'd do a virtual field trip or something. So I found this website called SkypeInTheClassroom.com. You might want to write that down, SkypeInTheClassroom.com, because it is a database of classes you can connect with, guest speakers you can get to talk to your kids, and virtual field trips. And they're all free. Free, like all free. So I started cruising around on that site, and I thought, how cool would it be to get someone from a Spanish-speaking country to talk to my kids? So I was able to find a teacher who taught English for high school kids in Valencia, Spain. I was like, oh, this is going to be so cool. So I got in contact with her, and she had never done anything like this before. I had never done anything like it before. And so we basically just started emailing each other and saying, okay, what could our kids do together? And we decided to start off with a mystery Skype call. Kind of, sort of, a little bit like what you guys did with me. If you're not familiar, a mystery Skype call is one where you get 2 classes on either side of a video call. And each class can see each other, but they have no idea where the other class is located. So they have to ask each other questions. Usually they're yes and no questions about their geographical location. So they can take the entire world or the entire United States, slowly narrow it down until they can guess. So we decided we should do one of those. And they asked all of their questions in English because they were studying English, and we asked all of our questions in Spanish because we were studying Spanish. So that was kind of cool. And then after that was over with, we did weekly video calls together where we would take 2 of my kids on an iPad who would Skype 2 of their kids on a laptop. And they would get together every week and Skype with each other. 15 minutes, the kids in my class would ask questions in Spanish. No, they would ask questions in English. The other class would answer, and then we would get to coach them on their English, which was a pretty cool thing, getting to coach kids from another country on their English, you know? And then the kids in Spain would, for 15 minutes, ask us questions in Spanish. We would respond, and then they would coach us on our Spanish. And then for the last 15 minutes, they just got to chat about whatever they wanted to in whatever language they wanted to. And it was so cool because they got to improve their language skills and learn about each other's cultures. But the thing that really impressed me about the whole thing was that I started to see their worldview growing. You know, these were these kids who grew up in very rural Park County, Indiana, not very culturally diverse. And they were getting to know these kids in another country who spoke another language, who looked very different from them. They were getting to know them as people. And all of a sudden, you could just see their worldview starting to grow. And that's something that we never could have gotten through a textbook. We couldn't have gotten it through regular classroom activities. It took getting connected with other people in the other country. And all that took was just going on the Skype in the Classroom website, finding another class, getting connected and trying it. And it was 2 teachers who had never done it before. We were just willing to take a chance and try something new, and it paid off big time. It really, really was one of my absolute favorite things, and it was something that, you know, kids talked about for a while after that. So, yeah, it doesn't have to be anything big like that. You can start really small by doing a video call to another class in your school, or, you know, sometimes elementary teachers will have a parent do a FaceTime call into class and be like their guest reader and do a read aloud so that the parent is able to, you know, kind of like interact with the kids during the school day. And there's lots of things that you can do with it. If you ever want to brainstorm ideas on how this could look in your classroom, it's one of my favorite things to do, is to think of ways that this could fit. So yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite classroom experiences.
I'm so glad you shared that. And I think, too, it's really important to take down the website. You said skypeintheclassroom.com, because the main hub for Mystery Hangouts was Google Plus, and now it's gone. So I actually just put a question out on Twitter for where's the Mystery Hangout now. So I don't know if anybody really has. I asked my innovator group. They didn't have any real answers. Matt, do you have any, and I know this is not obviously a Google product, but do you have any experience with Flipgrid Pals yet?
I haven't done it myself, but I would imagine that it works a lot like what I did with that Skype experience that I explained. So the way that works is you get on Flipgrid, you log in with your teacher account, and you go to the Grid Pals. And then once you get to the Grid Pals, you've got to turn on your location to be able to find other people. And then you see this map. And this map has little green dots just all over it. And each dot is a teacher that has signed up and is willing to connect with other classes. But really what Grid Pals does is within each of those dots, it gives contact information for that other teacher. So what you can do is you can go through and you can find somebody in the right state or in the right country or with the right information in their profile, and then you can go reach out to them and just decide what you want to do there. So it's pretty wide open and we'll let you do whatever. It's just, it's kind of like a place to facilitate connections. And you don't even have to connect with Flipgrid either. You can make a connection in Grid Pals, and you can decide to meet on Skype, or you can meet on whatever, you know. So that's absolutely.
That's called Grid Pals.
Grid Pals, yes, that's right. You should be able to, once you get into Flipgrid, a tab up at the top. It says Grid Pals, and if you can't find it, you can always just do a Google search for Flipgrid Grid Pals. I think Grid Pals is all one word.
Yeah, and hashtag Grid Pals is a big hashtag too on Twitter.
And that's another really good point, is that if you can't find a replacement for your Google Plus community, you can always use Twitter. Twitter is a great source for this. Like, for instance, I know the Skype, kind of like global teacher communities, there's a couple of good places to go. One is the hashtag mystery Skype. Even if you're not looking to do a mystery Skype call, you know, like the global guessing game call I talked about earlier, even if you don't want to do one of those, there's a lot of teachers that look at that hashtag. And so if you say, I'm looking for this kind of class, I'm looking for this kind of guest speaker, does anybody have any ideas?
Mm-hmm.
You might be surprised at how many people you get.
Yeah.
So that's one way to find people. Here's another really good one. In fact, I learned this from a Skype master teacher named Diane Soborowski in Kansas. So here's what she says. She says, if you want to find guests, speak to your students about a certain topic, she suggests a specific kind of Google search to find them on Twitter. Amber, I'm going to try to share my screen. Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, cool. So let's do that. Okay, can you see the Google search?
Yep.
Okay, so here's the way that she suggests that you do it, and then I can always just email this to Amber and she can pass it along to the group if you need to, if you forget or whatever. So she suggests doing this. If you type site:/Twitter.com all together, that's like no spaces, site:/Twitter.com, and then you do a space, and you type in the kind of person that you're looking for. It will search Twitter. It'll search the profiles of the Twitter users for people who have that word in their profile. Let's say, for instance, that we're studying insects and we're looking for an entomologist. We search, and now you notice all of the responses are from twitter.com, and most of them are users. So here is the Twitter username bug questions. Ask an entomologist. I'm thinking, man, if there's somebody that I want to talk to my kids, maybe it's the bug questions Twitter user. So if I open that up and I look, and I notice that I scroll down just a little bit, look, they tweeted within the last 2 hours. They tweeted 5 days ago. There's a good chance that if I send them a tweet, or if I can send them a direct message on Twitter and say, hey, I would love to talk to somebody on a video call, can you help? Or can you direct me to somebody? I'll bet they can either help or they'll probably do it themselves. So that's another way to do it, is to do, I'll show you that search one more time. It's site:/Twitter.com, and then whatever it is that you want to do. So
That's so cool.
there you go. There's an idea. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And you know what? I knew, Matt, we couldn't have a conversation without talking about Twitter as a connection tool. So the next slide in our slide deck for today is about Twitter.
Oh, for real? Wow.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yep. So they have actually a challenge to, they're doing a hyperdoc on Hangouts right now. So the extension is to create a Twitter account and to post a hashtag mystery hangout, and now you can do a mystery. So
yeah,
awesome.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you for sharing all of those resources in that story.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
perfect. I knew you wouldn't let us down.
Yeah, hey, my pleasure. I always love to do that.
Do any of you have any more questions for Matt?
No. We've posted everything to Google Keep. Aren't you impressed? So
Oh,
we
wow.
posted it all. That was Courtney's idea. She's like, I got it. So
I'm so glad.
Interest.
These teachers are amazing.
we're growing up.
They're doing really cool stuff. I introduced HyperDocs to them last week, and they already, Mrs. Brewer already did a couple with her class this past
Wow.
week.
You know,
Yeah.
can I just say that that's really impressive, because a lot of times when teachers learn about HyperDocs for the first time, their brains kind of explode a little bit. You know,
Well, that happened.
Yeah, it happened a little bit.
But after that, you kind of like recovered from the brain explosion, and then you actually made one and put it out into the world, or used one and put it out into the world to your students. And to put that into practice so quickly that's really impressive that you're willing to try that. So I say kudos to you and keep up the good work on that.
Yeah, so I did for their homework last week. They were supposed to listen to episode 71 and 72 with Sean Fahey and Lisa Highfield. So yeah. I think your episodes really helped. I don't know, Pam, can you attest to that? Were they helpful?
Oh, they were amazing. Yeah, there's so much in there. And I had the audio on, but I also had a transcript. So I was able to really digest it. So it was good.
Awesome.
Very good.
Well, Matt, thank you so much. I told you about 15 to 20 minutes, and we're at the 20-minute mark. So I want to respect your time. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful.
Oh, my pleasure. It was good to meet all of you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
See ya.
Take
Bye.
care. See ya. Bye.
Isn't he cool?
Yeah, I remember him speaking at Concordia. He's the one.
Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yeah, Choose Your Own Adventure. And then he actually was the one that, I don't know how to use the Google Hangouts until you explained it, but he was the one who encouraged me to do this. I did that same thing, but my daughter lives in the UK. And so we have done a video call twice. And the one this year that we did, she just simply showed us her European flat that she and her husband live in. And there's so much stuff. It brought so much culture. She showed us outside and it was the same thing. They had a ton of questions. Yeah. So the time went really fast. It was fun.
That's so cool. So cool. So I thought he would be a perfect guest to have. Now, on a typical mystery Skype or mystery hangout, they're pretty much the same thing. You're not typically guessing the person, although you totally can. A lot of times you're guessing the location. And in that Wakelet, let me share my screen with you again. I don't know if you got to it because I kind of packed it full of resources. But this one here has a bunch of ideas on how you can connect with classes. But unfortunately, like it has the Skype link doesn't work. So definitely, and I'll put that material, the Skype. Oh, crap. Did you write it down? Skype in the classroom?
Yeah, Skype it. Yeah, we have it.
I would say that's going to be your best resource right now, because right now everybody's kind of scrambling since Google Plus just shut down on April 1st. And that's where everybody was connecting. But there's also right here, I put in here this resource that I found where it actually has the questions that kids could ask. And then at the very bottom, what I did when I did a mystery Skype, we did a mystery Skype with a class from North Carolina, and they lived right on the ocean, or like their school was really close to the coast. So what you do is you print out these maps, and you can even laminate them so the kids can, use a whiteboard marker and cross off states or cross off regions as they're asking each other questions. Because my kids, in what we were learning about in relative location was on top of, below of, right, left. We were doing those types of directions. Well, these kids were second graders, and they were learning, and we were doing north, south, east, and west. They were learning regions. So they were asking us questions based on what they were learning about location, and we were asking them questions based on what we were learning. So here are, types of questions that you can ask. Ask them to try to figure out where they live. But it just kind of, again, it's that application. And then, of course, being able to connect with the class, through video, that's redefinition right there. Mm-hmm. And especially if you get someone to come on and talk to your kids about their career, my goodness, you're talking about Alcatraz. Who's to say you couldn't connect with someone to take them on a quick tour of one of the places in Alcatraz?
That's what I searched for on the Twitter thing, and there was a ton of them.
Yeah, I mean, how incredible is that we can do those things with our kids?
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
but you're killing my summer.
oh no, I don't want to do that. But I
Nah,
mean,
I'll be fine.
when you learn about things like this, if you're kind of in a rut, it just kind of ignites, it can ignite a spark of passion, back into what you do, because you realize that, wow, there are some new things, there's some new challenges that I can, offer for myself, to continue to push on through this challenging career that we have. So we have about 7 minutes. So we can brainstorm some ideas, and that's kind of where, what we were going to do next on this, on the HyperDoc was, brainstorming some authors, workers, or certain places around the country or globe of who or where you could do a mystery hangout with, that would match your actual, curriculum for the rest of the school year. Because you don't have to wait. I mean, you can wait until next year, but there's just, especially this is after testing or during testing, kids are like, why are we even still here?
Yeah.
So, it could just add a little bit of fun to your classroom or to your class day. So do you have any ideas that are sparking already? It sounds like, Alcatraz, somebody maybe doing a tour with you. Do you have any other thoughts or ideas?
You guys have any? Oh, there's so many ideas.
Oh, they're Googling ideas.
Yeah, they're Googling.
Oh, good. Well, if you want to go ahead and share your thoughts in the apply, I put 2 questions in there. I put, of course, the engage question, and then there's another question in Google Classroom for apply. And of course, this is what you can do with your kids. There are all sorts of third-party collaboration tools like Flipgrid and Padlet, but sometimes having too many options is overwhelming. So that's why I'm just trying to keep it as much in Google Classroom as possible. But, just having a chance for kids to go and see what other kids brainstorming is good for them too. It gives them ideas. So yeah, and then we had our mystery hangout already. So for your extension on this, and this is kind of doubling as your homework, is to create a Twitter account if you don't have one already, and to put out a tweet with the hashtag mystery hangout, and I'll add in here, or hashtag mystery Skype. Because again, you can then choose if you want to do a Skype or a hangout between you and the other teacher, and to see if anybody replies. And of course, that tip that Matt gave us is awesome. So there's a YouTube tutorial here on how you use Twitter and hashtags and handles and what all of that is. And this is actually a specific one for educators and how to create a PLN. So do you have any questions about any of that?
Just a personal question. Do you use Twitter much?
Oh my gosh, I'm on Twitter all the time.
Gosh, that's the one thing I just haven't. I don't know why I haven't.
There was a study done. See, I don't know if you have listened to the Burned In Teacher podcast at all. I'm really I tell my story of burnout, and then how I became burned in through learning about becoming a Google certified educator and trainer. The same conference that I went to that I was so inspired by is the conference that I learned really how to use Twitter. So yes, I mean, I jumped on there, and Matt Miller was one of the first people that I followed. And once you follow these people, and you know what, I'm going to do something for you really quickly. I accidentally lied to Matt. Don't tell him. I thought that when I was saying that the next slide was Twitter, I was actually in my brain, I was thinking, oh wait, it's actually the HyperDoc. But so if I go in here, I have typically I add into all of my workshops. Yeah, here, I know there's one here. A slide about connecting on Twitter and how it's just a really great place to meet other passionate, innovative educators who just want to try some stuff. They want to connect with others who are positive about their career. And that's where a study was done on Twitter, and education is the second biggest market that Twitter has affected.
Oh, wow.
So, and I only use it professionally. I don't connect with anybody personally on there. It's only ever been for education, and to learn more about what the latest trends are, just to get ideas. You can take part in Twitter chats, over Twitter. It's pretty incredible.
Well, that helps me some narrow it down because, yeah, I had followed different people or groups, and it just was more bombarding than it was. So
Yeah.
I just stopped. I'm sure I still have my account, but.
Yeah. So when I finally find this slide, I know it's on here.
Amber, I do have to say something funny. A couple of days ago, you were live on Facebook, and it was after school, and I popped out, and it was about you not having control.
Oh, yeah?
Courtney, you'll have to listen to this. It was about flying, and I had about 2 minutes of hearing you, I'm not laughing at you, I'm just laughing with you, how you said, my body it's the lack of control, and I do some bad things, like I cuss.
Yeah.
I couldn't watch it all, but it did make me laugh.
Oh, I really do. And I censor myself a lot when I'm doing videos with people too. They don't know me.
I love Jesus, but I cuss a little.
Yeah, right? I know. And, I want to remain professional, but I think even if I didn't swear ever, I would probably still on a plane because I just lose it. It's
like a Tourette's thing then, isn't it?
It's bad, and it keeps getting worse. So that's why I decided to get vulnerable and bring it up because, it's the same thing with, feeling shame around, feeling burned out or feeling like you just need some help and you don't want to ask because you don't want to seem weak. It's something where I'm finally like, I can't not talk about this anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's consuming and eating people alive.
Mm-hmm.
The attrition rate is huge. So
yeah, it is. It really is. So this is I just copied and pasted this slide in here for you. So this is what I shared. This is the same video, I believe, that I shared with you on the HyperDoc. But I suggest, and if you click this link here, it's a live link to Twitter. These are the people I would follow right away. And what's great about Twitter is that the more people you follow, and these are all education space people, when you follow these people, Twitter will suggest people like them.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just a huge network of really positive educators. So I would encourage you to try that out. And the only assignment that you have is I left these two links to the Google Teacher Tribe about HyperDocs, but I added actually the episode that Matt Miller was on my podcast, and I ended up calling it Ditch That Burnout, because we talked both about his story of struggling with burnout and how he actually decided he literally ditched his textbooks in front of his class, or with his class, and how it changed everything for him as an educator because he was really struggling. And then I ended up writing a whole blog post, and even for him, I wrote for his blog too. It was called Ditch That Burnout. So it's a great story about educational technology and Google, but it also kind of mixes in how, finding your thing can really reignite your passion when you're struggling. So I hope today was helpful and inspiring. And, if you have any questions, of course, post them in the classroom, try some stuff, get messy and learn.
For sure. Definitely.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoy your long weekend. Yeah. Extra long weekend.
Can't wait.
That's great. And then next week, we're going to, again, kind of bring it all together. And I have a couple of other things planned for us next week. And then we're going to talk about getting you Google certified next month.
Sounds good.
All right. One last question. I don't know if you have decided or not, or if you've talked about this as a group, but whether or not you're interested in shortening the month next month and having just 2 2-hour sessions of 490. Have you talked about it at all?
We have not talked about it. And for me, I don't care because I don't have small children, but there are 4 of us in here who do, I believe. So.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay. So, yeah, we can continue. We can go all four weeks if that's what you want to do. I wanted to just present that to you as an option. It's totally.
could we email that to you on Tuesday when we come back?
Yeah, no problem at all.
Sound like a plan?
Sounds good.
Yep, we'll actually talk about it. I'll
Okay.
keep a note.
Okay, sounds good. Have a good long weekend, everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.